Hey, grand risings, everybody. Wake up to this beautiful horizon on this Wednesday morning. Hope this message finds everyone at peace. I want everybody to walk in peace, love, harmony, power, and height. Yes, ascending. We're talking about who are you ascending for? I want to show my love and gratitude and appreciation to Alchemy Temple for embracing me and bringing me into the family. Um, Moonlit Mondays. The first one went up already. It was about consistency with self. If you didn't catch that, you can catch the replay on my Facebook page, Chari Lamone, CHARILA''MONE. And you can catch the replay, or you could go to Alchemy Temple Indigenous Magic or Alchemy Temple's page on Facebook, and you can catch the first Moonlit Monday. Moonlit Monday will be every Monday at 9 p.m. I want to talk to you today about who are you ascending for? See, a lot of us start out on this journey, and some of us start out with a group of friends, but a lot of us feel like there's something just deep down inside of us, something that's calling us, something that's pulling us and drawing us to this side of life, to this way of who we are, this way of our spirituality. Something has always told us, Grand Rising Sonia, that the ways of the world were not correct, that we never fit in, that there was more to us than what we saw, there was more to us than what people were trying to speak over us and tell us that we were. See, some of us came into this ascension with other like-minded people who felt the same way, but their journey is not your journey. See, we all ascend differently. And some of us even had parents who were enlightened, and they sat us down and they taught us the ways of our spirituality. They taught us how to meditate. They taught us how to go into ritual. They taught us about the different deities. They taught us about the divine order. They taught us about cosmic connections. They taught us about all of these things. But see, when it came down to the ascension process, that process is just yours. Some people get caught up in, I have to do this because this is what my parents did. Some people get caught up in, I have to do this because this is what my siblings did. This is what my grandmother did. Oh, I want to do this because this is what my best friend is doing. But it's not about them. This is about you. So whatever your calling is that is on your life, that is just what it is. The calling on your life, whatever soul contract you sign is the soul contract that you sign. It is not your mother's soul contract. It is not your family's soul contract. It is not your best friend's soul contract. It is not your neighbor's soul contract. I felt speaking on this was so important is because nowadays we see a lot of young women and women alike walking around with the head ties on, walking around with the belly chains on, walking around with the beads on, walking around looking and smelling like they are going through an ascension process. And when you sit and you talk to them, it is nothing more than a fashion trend for them. So who are you ascending for? Are you really on this journey, or are you just doing it for show? Are you doing it because it is something to be of a fad, or are you doing it because you are really standing on your square, 10 toes down with it and all in it? You need to be checking yourself to make sure that you're really on the journey for the right reasons. Some of us come into this journey because our hearts have been broken and damaged. Some of us come into this journey because we've lost loved ones, because we've broken up with a relationship. We may have lost some children. We may have just lost our way in life along the way. And then we get into this and we get into our spirituality and we start building ourselves up. And then what happens is once you start getting that good old feeling, you forget about your altar. You forget about your ancestors. You forget about them deities that you made agreements and contracts with. You forget about all of that because you felt good for the moment. Are you doing this for a feel good, or are you doing this because this is truly what you want to do? Is you doing this because this is truly what you are called to do? Because see, I'm going to tell you something. When you are on this process and you are going through purges and you're going through ascensions and you're going through your transformations, that's some heavy stuff. You can't sit up here and play around with it. It's nothing to play with. You need to make sure that you know that this is your ascension. This is your process. And see, I don't know who I'm talking to, but somebody out there is playing spiritual. Just like there are people out there that play church. Who are you ascending for? What are you ascending for? Should have been the flip side of that. Are you ascending because you really want to turn on your light body and operate in your fullest capacity? Are you ascending because you want to get into the craft? Because you want to learn how to work love spells? Or are you ascending because this is what you were called to do? See, I've spoken to y'all plenty of times about the warrior gods and goddesses. And this is the era of the warrior gods and goddesses. So there are many of us out here that are standing in this training. We are in training for the spiritual battle. See, we out here fighting spiritually. We out here interceding. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with anyone who is learning. You're supposed to always be learning. That's not to say that there's anything wrong with anyone that is stumbling across their path. You're gonna stumble. You're gonna stumble. But what is wrong is when you are taking your spirituality as a joke. And if you want to play with spirit, and you want to play with the cosmos, and you want to play with the all, guess what? They're going to play with you too. And you will lose that game. You will end up stripped of everything. Playing. Now, when you are on this ascension, this is about you. It's you being led by spirit. It's you getting your downloads. It's you cleansing yourself. It's you building yourself up spiritually. It's you learning your alchemy. It's you learning the connection between spirit and ancestors and everything. It's you. It's all you. You are the magic. It's you. No one can tell you how to walk this thing out. Only you know how to walk it out. You can get guidance, you can get readings, you can have seers look into your life, you can get all the consultations that you want. They can only tell you what the outcome is going to be. They can't tell you what your process is. They can't tell you how to walk this thing out. No one can walk you by your hand and tell you how to do this. You've got to figure it out for yourself. Because if you are truly ascending for you, then you will learn that the ascension process is all about learning you. How to work your energy, how to work your juju. How to work yourself, how to work your light bodies, how to change your frequencies and shift, how to reprogram your way of thinking. It's all you, beloved. It's all you, beloved. So you can't be on this journey doing it for somebody else because it's not going to work. You've got to be on your process for you. You've got to be on your square, knowing that you know this is you, all you. Your mother's process is her process. Your grandma's process was her process. Your best friend's process is her process. Your mate's process is their process. You got to get on that journey and you've got to walk that thing out with all you got. Because at the end of that road, guess what's waiting for you? You. Your manifestations. Get into your rituals. Get into your alchemy. Get into who you are. You got to learn to strip away those things that people labeled you with. Those desires that people placed on you. Those things that everyone said you should do, you should be. You got to strip yourself away from all of that. Because see, from the moment that we were born, we've had people speaking into our lives, telling us their desires, telling us what they see, telling us what they feel. Some of us had people in our ears from birth telling us what we were going to grow up to be. You're going to be a doctor. You're going to be a lawyer. You're going to own your own business. Some of us have had people in our ears our whole lives telling us who we are and how to get there. This is not about them. You got to strip all of that away and stand in your nakedness with yourself and look in that reflective mirror and realize who you are and realize where you're trying to get to, where it is that your final destination is going to be. And then go through your process to get there. Because as I keep saying, this is about you. This is about you. It's not about anybody else. And if you don't learn you and you don't strip yourself away from all of the stigmatisms that have been placed upon you and all the words that have been spoken over your life, because we know that spelling is a curse. So for somebody to speak over your life into what you are supposed to be, it is a curse. Remove the curse from your life that has been spoken. Remove it. Remove the spell. Admire your strength. Get into your time with yourself. Learn what it is that you like to do. What comes from here? What is your passion? Listen. You'll find out some things about yourself that you didn't even know about you. Or you'll find out some things about yourself that you wanted to try to ignore. Either way, it's your process. And you got to get through this thing. Because when you're laying in that bed at night and you wrestling with self and you wrestling with spirit, nobody's wrestling with you. You could have someone laying in the bed next to you and they're not wrestling with you. They can't wrestle with you. It's you wrestling. It's you in the shadows. It's you behind the veil. It's you wrestling with you. It's you wrestling with you. You're going to go through initiations with your ancestors, where your ancestors are going to come in, they're going to whoop on you. They're going to beat you down. Because they got to make sure you're strong. Some of y'all are at that stage where one minute you up here and then the next minute you right here in a state of confusion. You ain't dropped down here. You in a state of confusion. You waking up, your body is sore. It feels like you've been fighting and somebody just been whooping your tail all night long. You have no energy. You can't bring anything up inside of you. You can't invoke no strength. You can't invoke no powers. All your powers are zapped and gone from you. You know what that is? That's your initiation with your ancestors. Because see, if you are going to go and be dealing with spirits, you got to be able to take a spiritual ass whooping. You got to go into battle because you're going to be fighting with spirits trying to attack you. You're going to be fighting with things. People going to come to you for help, and you're going to have to fight the spirits that are on them. And if you can't take an ass whooping from your ancestors, how are you going to take an ass whooping from some spirits you don't know? Come on now. Your ascension should be something you take as seriously as punching into your 9-to-5 job. You get on that clock from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, Monday to Monday. You on time for that. You punching in, you at your desk, you doing your work, you clocking out for lunch, you clocking back in from lunch, you do your job at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever time you get off, you punch out and you go home. But when you on that clock, you following company procedure. You doing what you're supposed to do to get that bag, right? This is just as serious. You always on the clock. So consider yourself punched in. Consider yourself on the clock at all times. Consider yourself to be in a state of process at all times. You going through what you need to go through to get to where you got to get to. Even when you on that clock at that job. Now, I'm not saying go to that job and set up your crystals and all of that. You ain't got to let everybody into your business. There's other ways to go about that. You can tuck your crystals in your bra. You can tuck your crystals into your pockets. But you should always be in some form of state of consciousness to the spirit. You should be always working on your vibrations and your energy. See, this is something that doesn't stop. This is something that is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for the rest of your life, because we talking about your spirit here. Where your spirit, where your spirit going? Your spirit don't get a vacation. No rest for the spirit. The spirit is always there. So you always on the clock with your spirituality. Start taking you just as seriously as you take your job. And stay on your path, because it is yours. You'll meet people along the way, and it's great to have that support. But always remember, it's your process, and it's all about you. I want to thank each and every one of y'all who tapped in and caught this live. I want to tap those who are going to catch this on the replay. Elaine, much love, gratitude, compassion, power, and light to you. I can't see who all is in here. It doesn't show me unless you guys comment, so I can't see it. But I love and compassion each and every one of you. And I really appreciate you being on this journey with me. We have made a spiritual connection. We exchange energy, and I look forward to it every time. And you can catch 15 Minutes of Funk here on YouTube, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30 a.m. Thank y'all. Walk in power and height today. Love and light to everyone. Remember to always love yourself, because nobody is going to ever love you better.